When you live abroad or you're just visiting and you try new foods, it's totally normal to like some dishes better than others or to have some types of flavors that are just not your thing. But please keep in mind that it is excessively hard to criticize another country's food in general without coming across as ignorant and racist. Because 9 times out of 10, what you're saying, if you're criticizing publicly the food of another culture that's graciously hosted you, you're being kind of an ass. And again, nobody's saying you can't have preferences. I'm American and I often hate pickles. But there's a difference between just not liking a food and making it sound like you think anybody who would digest this food is gross and disgusting and less than human, okay? Sometimes when I talk about France, I'm not even talking about food, and then people will start insulting French food. And for French people, it's something they're very proud of. But they don't do it in just like, oh, you know, French food wasn't for me. They do it in a very like, French food's so disgusting. I've never had food as bad as I did in France. What that tells me is that you didn't bother to Google things correctly and find restaurants and types of cuisines that fit your personal tastes. You've got some neurodivergence going on. I feel you. I'm an extremely picky eater to the point where when I went to France and I had all this new food in front of me and it was very like overstimulating and I wasn't used to it yet, I lost 20 pounds in like 3 months just because I wasn't used to the food yet. So I'm not saying you're a bad person for having preferences. Again, it's about how we express those preferences and whether or not we're like attacking people and intentionally trying to be mean, because that's what a lot of these comments come across as. They're intentionally trying to dehumanize French people or say they're bad people for liking the food that they like. Again, I hate pickles. I don't think that there is a moral problem with enjoying pickles. I don't think you're a terrible person if you enjoy pickles. It's just not for me. Let's remember that historically, colonizers used the criticisms of culture's foods to dehumanize the indigenous peoples that they were murdering. They literally used it as an excuse to murder people. Dehumanizing or lowering the value of people because of what they eat is a pretty common rhetoric that you're going to hear in very racist circles of people. So be careful.